What happens when a 19-year-old defendant steps into court and schools the judge, the prosecutor, and the entire justice system? This isn't fiction. It's the day a teenager turned the courtroom upside down and walked out a free man. The Los Angeles County Courthouse was supposed to see another routine case that morning until a 19-year-old defendant flipped the entire trial on its head. Jalen Dawson stood at the defense table, his posture calm, his eyes sharp. He wasn't nervous. He wasn't afraid. In fact, he looked like he'd been preparing for this moment his whole life. Across the bench, Judge Walter Grayson leaned back in his chair, bored. He tapped his fingers against the polished wood and sneered. "This isn't debate club, son. Don't embarrass yourself." The courtroom chuckled, jurors, spectators, even the bailiff. But Jalen didn't laugh. While other kids grew up chasing basketballs or video games, he grew up listening to his mother's paralegal war stories, corrupt prosecutors, lazy defense attorneys, and judges who cared more about their golf game than the truth. Jalen studied law like it was oxygen, and today it was about to save him. The prosecutor, Mitchell Carrington, strolled across the floor like he already owned the verdict. He painted Jalen as a reckless car thief, caught red-handed behind the wheel of a stolen Audi. The jury nodded along. On paper, it looked airtight. Fingerprints, a chase, an arrest. Case closed. Then Judge Grayson turned to the defense. Jalen's public defender hesitated, ready to stammer out a weak defense, but Jalen placed a hand on her arm and stood. "I'll be representing myself, Your Honor." The room froze. Whispers erupted. The judge smirked. The prosecutor laughed. But that laughter ended fast. Jalen walked to the center of the courtroom and fired his first shot. "You claim Officer Ruiz saw me driving that car, but he wasn't even on duty at the time. Check his GPS logs. His own report doesn't add up." Murmurs spread through the gallery. The prosecutor's smile faded. For the first time, the jury leaned forward. One by one, Jalen dismantled the state's case. He questioned the fingerprint evidence. He pointed out the missing forensic witness. Then he dropped the bomb. From his folder, he pulled out the original police report. The car's owner had told officers that the thief was white. Jalen, a young black man, didn't even fit the description. That detail had been buried, hidden, ignored. Gasps filled the courtroom. The judge rubbed his temple, realizing this wasn't the slam-dunk case he thought it was. The prosecutor stammered, scrambling for words. But Jalen wasn't finished. He turned to the jury, his voice steady, his eyes unblinking. "This isn't about evidence anymore. This is about assumptions. They saw me and they decided that was close enough. That's not justice." Silence swallowed the room. Even Judge Grayson had no comeback. Finally, he slammed his gavel and spoke. "Case dismissed." The gallery erupted, reporters scribbling notes, spectators buzzing, the prosecutor pale and defeated. Jalen stood tall, not triumphant, just steady. He hadn't come here to show off. He came here to survive. As he left the courthouse, cameras swarmed him, but he ignored them. His mother stood waiting at the bottom of the steps. She hugged him tight, whispering, "You scared me half to death." Across the street, Judge Grayson watched. For the first time, the arrogance in his eyes was gone, replaced by something else. Respect, maybe even regret. Because Jalen had done more than win a case. He forced the system to look at itself. And for once, the system blinked. Here's the truth. Not everyone has the knowledge Jalen did. Thousands of people face judges and prosecutors every day, with no defense strong enough to fight bias, shortcuts, and broken systems. But Jalen's story? It's not just about one young man walking free. It's about a future where he won't be the defendant. He'll be the attorney. And that future is coming faster than anyone in that courtroom realized.